Welcome to the channel. This will be my first deck profile on this channel. This is the Runecraft deck I've been playing in Paragons of the Colosseum BP06 for Shadowverse Evolve. I am playing Rite. So to start off with the deck, I will explain what stack is, and I will explain what Rite is. Stack is a keyword that is on amulets. Whenever an amulet is played with stack, it is given 1 stack counter. Whenever this card would be removed for any reason, you can remove 1 stack counter instead of destroying it. You can also tap any amulet with stack to transfer all of its stacks to another stack amulet. So that way you can have 5 stack counters on 1 amulet and you don't need more than 1 amulet on board. Rite is an additional cost on some of the cards in the deck. For example, Show of Loyalty is a 3-drop spell that when you play it, you give your leader 3 health and draw a card. If you use the Rite mechanic on it, you will draw 2 cards instead, which simply means that you spend 1 stack counter when playing this card as an additional cost. And I will also go over the 2 golems before going into the deck. The main golem that you'll be summoning in the deck will be Guard Form Golem. It is a 2-cost, 2/3 with ward. And then the next one is Strike Form Golem, who is a 2-cost 3/2 with rush. There are more ways to summon the Guard Form Golem in the deck, and it will keep you alive into the mid game, which is what the deck wants to do and close out around 9 or 8 mana. Alright, and now to get into the deck. First off will be the stack amulets. I run 3 Cauldrons of Calamity. What this is a stack amulet, so it will come into play with 1 stack counter. And then it looks at the top 4 cards of your deck and grabs a card that specifies Rite in its ability, adds it to your hand, and puts the rest on the bottom of the deck. Next is Teachings of Creation, which I run 3 of. It is a 1-cost stack amulet that draws you a card. Then 3, it's a Sweets Buffet, another stack amulet that on play heals your leader 3. And now to go into the Rite. I run 2 Show of Loyalty, which is the give your leader +3 health, draw a card, and Rite it to draw 2 instead. It costs 3 to play. Then, one of your best cards against Sword is the Runic Guardian. When she is a 3-cost 3/4 with ward. When she enters play, you can Rite her to give her +1 attack and +1 health, making her a 4/6. Or you can summon a magic sentiment and put a stat counter on it. This is very good against Sword, as that will be forced to swing into it. And a 4/4 is not enough to kill this. Next up is the MVP of the deck. 3 Ancient Alchemist. She is a 3-cost 2/5 with on Fanfare, Rite, put 2 Guard Form Golems into your EX area, and she evolves for 3. Now when she evolves, she becomes a 3/6 with the permanent. While this card is on your field, your Golem's followers cost 1 less to play. Also, whenever a Golem follower is put onto your field, select either an enemy follower or an enemy leader and deal them 3 damage. So, in total, this will be an 8 mana play to pay 3 to play her, then pay 3 to evolve her, and pay 1 for each of these Guard Form Golems to bring them up from the EX area to the field, allowing you to deal 3 damage in 2 places or 6 to the enemy leader's face. Next up is Golem of Protection, a 4-cost spell that summons 2 Guard Form Golems, and if you Rite this, all Golems then get a +1/+1. Then, one of Juno's Lab. It is a 5-cost amulet. It does not have stack, and on Fanfare, it summons a Guard Form or Strike Form Golem, your choice. It also has the ability to tap itself to summon a magic sediment, which will give you 1 stack, or tap it and Rite it to summon either golem of your choice. This is helpful because if Ancient Alchemist is on the field, you can tap it to Earthright it to summon either golem you want and deal 3 to anywhere you need. Next is a 6-cost 4/6 Wizardess of Oz. On play, she puts a magic sediment on the board, and then she adds a stack to your board and draws you a card. She is good because she has a quick Earthright. You take a stack counter off, and then she can play any spell in your deck for 4 less. This will most likely include Golem's Protection, as with 6 play points, you can play her, get 2 stack counters on board, draw a card, and then you just remove it to play Golem's Protection and get 2 ward followers. And she is also pesky for your opponent because if she is still on the board and you have stack counters on board, they have to be wary of you quick affecting and playing an execution on their turn. Next up is Arch Summoner Aramis. He is a 7-cost 6/8. On Fanfare, Earthright, select an enemy follower, deal it 6 damage and 2 damage to your opponent's leader. He also can tap himself to do that effect again. He is great as when he comes down, he can clear 2 bodies off of board, and then the opponent has a 6/8 that they need to deal with, or else he can attack the enemy leader or do that effect again on your next turn. Now, into more generic cards. You run 3 Bellringer, so that way you can get to the mid game. She's a 1-cost 0/2 with Ward. On last words, she draws you a card. I run 3 of her Evo because I have the space. This is very helpful against aggro decks as it allows you to pop their 1-cost followers without sacrificing cards out of your hand. Next up, this is the only addition that I have in the deck from BP06, is Clash of Heroes. What this card does is a 1-cost spell. What it does is you select a follower on your board and select a follower on your opponent's board. They deal their attacks to one another. This is relevant for a card that you'll see at the end of the deck. Next, 2 Angelic Snipes. For the quick, deal 2 damage. Just more removal to stop the early aggro. Then 2 Surefire Bullets. Is a 2-cost quick that selects an enemy follower on the board, deals it 3 damage. If it is a Evolved follower, deals it 4 instead. Then I run 2 Dynamite Daredevil. She's a 2-cost 3/2. On Fanfare, look at the top 5 cards of your deck and grab a 1-cost. Or on Fanfare, select an enemy follower with 1 play point and destroy it. I only run 3 Bellringers as searchable targets, so this is more of a stop early aggression and establish a 3/2 that your opponent has to deal with. Next, and what is arguably one of the best cards in Rune at the moment, 3 Europas. She is a 2-cost 1/3. On Fanfare, you may flip over Europa in your Evolve deck and give this follower +1/+1. So what that means is you only need to run 1 of her Evo, and she costs 2 to Evo. And her Evolve form is a 3/5 with Storm, Bane, and Ward. This is great for closing out the game as your Golem followers and your pain damage will slowly chip away at the opponent. Then we run 1 Execution, 4-cost quick that selects a card on your opponent's board and destroys it. This is great off of Wizardess of Oz. Then, what is my favorite card in this deck, and actually got me back to playing Earthright, he is a 5-cost 4/4 Iron Staff Mechanic. On Fanfare, search your deck for a 1-cost card and put it into your EX area. It costs 1 less to play this turn. And I'll go over his Evo first. His Evolve, he becomes a 5/5 and he does that effect again. So he essentially brings out 2 1-cost cards into your EX area and makes them cost 0 this turn. 1-cost cards being Bellringer, so it allows you to drop a 0/2 with Ward, and draws you a card. And Angelic Snipe for 2 damage. It's a Sweets Buffet to put a stat counter on your board and draw or heal your leader 3. Teachings of Creation, stack and draw you a card. The Cauldron of Calamity, to stack and look at the top 4 for Earthrite, or Clash of Heroes, which will allow you to select your Iron Staff mechanic and select an enemy follower on the board, and they will deal their damage to each other. This is relevant for removing anything with 5 health, notably the Lyrial Angel from the previous set, as you do burn damage and that card can become annoying. And that is my Earthrite deck for BP06. I will be showing gameplay later this week of this deck versus Kuon, and probably a deck video of it versus Dragon. There will likely be best of 3s, and hopefully you check in for those. Thank you.